First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who takes time to listen to the show, 6 a.m. 10 a.m. Uh, Monday through Friday at here at Current FM. And we really do appreciate you guys' support. And what we've been talking about, what we're talking about today is the sacrifice of the Messiah. Sacrifice of the Messiah is what we're talking about, and I want you guys to know that this is something that you need to think about every day. Every day, you need to think about the importance of the sacrifice of the Messiah, the sacrifice that uh, the Father planned before the foundations of the earth for us. Now, most of us aren't used to being thought of at all. So the idea of being able to the idea that God cared for us so much, the idea that God cared for us so much, you know, to think about us before the foundations of the earth, most of us have not been cared for to even be able to fathom that idea, that concept that somebody loves us so much. Because a lot of times when you live what I call a workhorse life, when you live a life where it's all about serving, what do I do? What can I do? What can I do? You know, how can I make a difference? What do I do? How do I matter? Where do I fit into this? What is my plan? When you do that, you kind of isolate yourself from being cared for. And this takes skill. Most people have no idea how to be cared for, because in the world that we live in, being that it's so broken and so like, being cared for seems like something of weakness, but really it's not. It's something that's communal. It's saying, hey, I don't have the strength to do this, but you do. So when we connect, we now can, and so we've got to be thoughtful with each other, and we've got to be careful with each other, right? Thoughtful with each other and careful with each other. These are things that people don't consider that they absolutely need. Once we feel like people are reckless with us and they don't care about us, then we go into this zone where it's like it spins us out of our divine nature, because we were created by the Father, by the Creator, to need each other, to create with each other, to create like that was his whole thing. He wanted a family of creators. That's what the Father wanted. And so what's interesting about the Messiah is that the Messiah is an expression of God's creativity and his creative ability to save us from ourselves, and his creative ability to keep his word. Because remember, he made the covenant with Abraham himself. So here's what's funny is human beings who benefit from the sacrifice. It's very interesting that the Father makes the sacrifice with himself, but makes the man the beneficiary. I think that's fascinating, because he already knew that mankind was so flawed that could not fulfill the covenant. Not only that, I want you to think about this. This is another reason why the sacrifice is so important. Do you know, as much as the Creator is all knowing and all powerful, but do you realize that if he didn't become a man and put himself in flesh, he wouldn't know what it's like to be human? Think about that. If he didn't send the Messiah, he wouldn't know what it's like to be human. He wouldn't know what it's like to be separated from himself. He wouldn't know what it's like to feel the flesh, and to be in sin. He wouldn't know what it's like to have that sin nature on you, the flesh on you. And this is what I mean is that you don't understand the depth of the sacrifice, but he was saying you are worth it. God saw you worth it, that he put on a robe of dishonor and put on a robe of flesh and put on a robe of humiliation and put on a robe. You are so worth it to the Messiah that he chose to be humiliated so that you could have life. There's some people, listen, I know some people that will walk away from you. They'll tell you that you guys are boys and they'll love you and all this other stuff. But then if they get around some of their friends, especially if you're a little different, and they get around some of their friends, and they start acting like they don't know you. A lot of Christians do that. You know, Christians will be hanging out with some crazy folks, some knuckleheads, and then when their Christian friends show up, they act like they don't know them. You know, but if you're a child of God, you're supposed to know some crazy people. If you're a child of God, just keep that in mind. You're supposed to know some people that's a little off because you're supposed to be doing your job, which is sharing the gospel. I notice a lot of people trying to share the gospel. A lot of people have what I call a ministry of comfort. It's the only way you can show God is real is by showing how comfortable you are. And look what God did for me. I'm comfortable. I would say be careful with that. Be careful with that because a lot of times God's asking people to do stuff that makes them uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And if God can't take you past your comfort zone, you're probably not growing. You know, if your comfort zone is the standard of God, then you're probably not where you need to be. I'm not saying that go out there and, I'm not saying go out there and start a bunch of drama and try to be on an adventure. I'm saying don't think that God won't ask you to do things past your little comfort zone. I remember I come from a generation where if God told somebody to walk off their job, they were walking off that job. You know what I mean? This generation is like, no, God would never say walk off the job. God would never say walk off the job. God would never say, and I'm like, all right. That's why we won't see revival. If you notice, do you notice how the secular world knows how to, I won't say the secular world, but the powers that be, they know how to get the church to rise up whenever they see fit. It's like the church, it's like this, the industry knows how to work church people. Take their mind off the sacrifice. Take their mind off of being like Yeshua. Take the mind off of focusing on how he was and how he maneuvered through wicked people. Take your mind off of the importance of Israel. Take your mind off of the heart of God, which is to reconcile the church in Israel. It's so easy how we can choose what we get caught up in. We can choose what we get caught up in. So when I get caught up in the things of God, I start seeing where we are, what we're doing right as the body of Christ, what we're doing wrong, what we need to know, what we don't need to know, how we need to act, what we need to say. I can see clearly when I'm focused on the things of God. What's going on? What's going on? I can see clearly when we focus on the things of God. When we focus on the things of the world, I can see the football teams, the basketball team, and they don't have to necessarily be bad. I can see the movies, the television shows, see the technology. But the question is, why is it that the people of God are not invested in the things of God the way they should be, the way they're supposed to be? What is that? What is that thing? And the truth of the matter is, it's just the fact that there's not that many people of God. That's something that people need to accept. It's not a lot. It's way less than you think. And this is what I want you to know. It's way less. When most people can be dismissive with the sacrifice of the Messiah, I need you to understand, when most people are so broken and wounded and sin has claimed so much territory on the earth, I need you to understand that most people are not considering the depth of the care of God and how much he cares for us, how much he values us. Most people are not considering that. They actually consider the state of their woundedness now more than how much God thought for them. They don't consider the fact that God made sure they got here. Like God made sure you got here. Don't blame God because you got distracted from the mission that you're supposed to be on. Don't blame God at the fact that you never really went to the scriptures and went to the word of God to find out what the words mean and that you believed the wrong thing. Don't blame God. But and don't blame God when the times when you could have been praying, you decided to do something else. Don't blame God when you develop bad habits because you use your time poorly. Don't blame God. See, these are the things that everyone loves the name being a child of faith and being a child of God and being a child of, Yeshua, Yahweh, but it's like, what do you do to show that that's who you are? What do you do to show that that's what you believe? Otherwise, you can just be somebody out there just, doing whatever. For me, when me and the kids started coming to Jesus, it was all about sharing the gospel for us, an opportunity to share the gospel. And it was an opportunity to help other men and women of God, share the gospel. And so what we did, so it went from what we wanted to do to what we did, right? So what we did was created a website that does just that. You see? We put it in action, comingsoonjesus.org. Now, because we support Current FM, what we did was put Current FM on our website. And what we did was get 50,000 items to help empower all of you guys out there listening, so that when you are having financial troubles, you are going through something, you can call Coming Soon Jesus and say, hey, I'm going through this. We need some help. What we did was put things in place where we can be a direct assistance to our brothers and sisters of Christ, our brothers and sisters out there. And it's interesting how hard it is to get people to support. But the more I see the lack of support, the more I see the lack of, people stepping in going, when we get something from Coming Soon Jesus, they're able to help more people, because people don't seem to see that or get that. It makes it easier to see what the Messiah was seeing. People just not getting the message. It becomes very easy when you know you're doing the right thing for the right reasons, serving the one true God, the right God. When you see that, it becomes very easy to see that everyone else is distracted. And you start to understand why so many people are going to get left behind after the rapture, why so many people are going to get left behind.
Hi, I'm Robert Shepard. America has approximately 580,000 homeless people. My area of Virginia estimates 5,783 people living on the streets. A Google search can show the homeless number in your state. You can make a difference. Please send a message that God loves the homeless and has not forgotten them. Go to www.comingsoonjesus.org and click on Fundraising. Purchase the Coming Soon Jesus t-shirt or hoodie. The CSJ team delivers the shirts and hoodies to homeless shelters, churches, and even directly to the homeless. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can help the homeless. Please go to www.comingsoonjesus.org. Purchase a t-shirt or hoodie for the homeless today. God bless you as you bless the homeless.
You know, I'm sorry. I'd be so angry if I found out that, you know, if my child died for someone and they chose to live a life of buffoonery and, you know, ridiculousness, and you know that's very, very hurtful when you think about your child giving themselves to save someone else, and then people don't live a quality life. I tell you what, I want to see you guys prosper. I believe in you guys so much, but I do know that if we don't do it together, we don't make it. Everybody's trying to prove themselves, and it's like, no, let's prove the word. Let's prove that the love of God is true. Let's prove that the love of God is real. Let's prove that the love of God is, you know, like that God is who he said he is, that nothing can stop us. We're all the way up. We gotta understand that together is where our power source is in us working together. You know, let's show the world that, you know, let's show the world what we can do together.
Current FM has good news. The FCC has approved our application to triple our radio signal. We get to go up in power. We've been praying for this for so long, but we can't do this without your help. We are asking you to help fund this power increase, as we'll need to buy a bigger transmitter and antenna. The price for these items alone will be approximately $75,000. Can you help us reach the amount needed so we can quickly get the power increase up and going? You can easily donate securely online at currentfm.com. You can also send in a check to Current FM, 3500 Virginia Beach Boulevard, Suite 201, Virginia Beach, Virginia 23452. We are nonprofit and tax deductible. It's because of your prayers that we received favor from the FCC, and we can't thank you enough for those prayers and for your financial support through the years. Help Current FM in reaching more people and seeing more lives changed in the years ahead.
Get this tower, $75,000 for the tower. However, there's one movement that we're doing that can cover everything we're trying to accomplish, and that is the one of the million. Get the Coming Soon Jesus shirt. Go to comingsoonjesus.org. You get a Coming Soon Jesus shirt or Coming Soon Yeshua shirt. You get the shirt, and you are helping us raise enough money to get the tower, to do everything we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to do so much, and we need your support to do it. We've got the television network. We've got that's the huge thing. The television network, 24-hour station. We've got a building to buy. The building alone is about $4 million that we have to purchase to be able to run the television network with the servers and all the compartments. We're bringing sitcoms back. We're bringing faith-based sitcoms, and we're doing the whole nine. We're bringing the whole experience back. VJs, promoting music video, it's going to be amazing, guys, and we need your support to do that. So make sure you go to comingsoonjesus.org, get the Coming Soon Jesus shirt, and we'd love for you to post your shirt once you get it. Make sure you post it because we definitely want you guys to participate and be a part of it. And guys, when you're supportive of this, when you get the Coming Soon Jesus shirt, you're helping us accomplish so much more than you even know. And so keep that in mind. All right, Current FM. You are listening to Current FM. And I tell you what, Britt Nicole loves her song. Britt Nicole, Believe, that's amazing artist. I was telling everybody out there in the StreamYard world, in the Savior Connect world, the power that we have when we come together. I was saying that before you got off. I went to speak the word. The power that we have when we get out is unstoppable. Like, for example, we're doing a movement called One of the Million. We're trying to get 1 million believers in the Coming Soon Jesus shirts in 1 year. We have not been successful in our 4 years of doing this. We have not been successful, but we just reset. Right now, we're trying to get 1 million believers in the shirts in 1 year. What this does means we can cover the tower. We can get the building that we need, because we've got to have a bunch of servers and everything, because we also have a 24-hour faith-based channel that's going to feature your kids, your talent. You got to think about this. We're going to be bringing new television shows, new movies. We're trying to make high-quality movies with big budgets so everything looks good. A lot of people ask, why do Christian movies look so cheesy? Well, I can tell you why. It's the funding. I know how to connect. I have all the right connections to make sure that we have excellent films, excellent productions. Guys, if you understood how huge the opportunity that we have is, it is unbelievable. So we're asking you to participate, because if we get the 1 million in 1 year, we have enough money to cover everything that we need and be able to make a huge impact into the community, getting our faith back, our influence back, because that's what's needed more than anything, is the influence back into the people of God. We got to get our influence back, and we don't take that seriously. We're pretty much just wasting our time and handing everything over to a bunch of knuckleheads, and we don't want to do that. We want to be strong. We want to stand strong, but we can't do it without each other. That is the biggest thing, is that we have to have each other's backs. So I just want to throw that at you. I love you guys. We're going to play Britt Nicole, Believe.